Seniors, stop! Are you unknowingly ruining the very foods that keep you strong? Did you ever think that the humble refrigerator could be a hidden enemy for your health? In the next 2 minutes, I'll reveal 9 everyday foods you should never refrigerate and why it matters for inflammation, digestion, and glucose spikes. Pause, soft music, stay with me because the last food on the list will surprise even the most seasoned chefs. I'm Dr. Evelyn Hart, a geriatric nutrition specialist with 20 years of research on age-related metabolism. I know many of you have spent a lifetime perfecting your kitchen, yet a simple temperature mistake can silently accelerate chronic inflammation and weaken immunity. Today, you'll learn the science behind each food, the exact bodily reaction, and a simple, practical storage tip you can apply right now. Let's first understand why the fridge isn't always a friend for certain ingredients. If you're ready to protect your health, give this video a thumbs up now. It helps the community see the truth faster. Why does a cold environment sometimes harm food rather than preserve it? When temperature drops, the cell walls of many plant-based foods stiffen, enzymes slow, and antioxidant compounds break down faster. This leads to oxidative stress once the food is reheated, triggering inflammatory pathways in our bodies, especially vulnerable after 65. Visual of microscopic cell damage. Now let's see the 9 culprits that fall into this trap. We'll go through each food in a 3-step formula: identify, explain, act. Write a snowflake in the comments if you've ever stored any of these in the fridge. Let's see how common the habit is. First on the list, ripe tomatoes. Fresh tomatoes are a powerhouse of lycopene, a carotenoid that helps protect cells from damage. When you chill them, the membranes around the lycopene crystals become rigid, causing the pigment to crystallize and become less bioavailable. In your digestive system, that translates to a weaker antioxidant response, which can raise inflammatory markers. The practical tip: keep tomatoes at room temperature out of direct sunlight and only move them to the refrigerator after they're fully ripe and you're ready to use them within a day or 2. Second, bananas. As bananas ripen, they produce natural sugars that give you a quick source of energy. Cold temperatures halt the ripening enzymes, leading to a mushy texture and a spike in resistant starch that your gut struggles to break down. For seniors with slower digestion, that can cause bloating and unpredictable blood sugar swings. The simple solution is to store bananas on the countertop away from direct heat, and if they become overly ripe, peel and freeze them for smoothies later, but never refrigerate whole bananas. Third, avocados. The creamy flesh of a ripe avocado contains monounsaturated fats that support heart health and help absorb fat, soluble vitamins. When chilled, the fats solidify and the texture turns grainy. More importantly, the cold slows down the enzyme that converts the green pigment into a more absorbable form, reducing the nutrient benefit. Keep avocados at room temperature until they yield gently to pressure. If you need to extend their life, slice them, drizzle with lemon juice, and store the halves in an airtight container. Not the main fridge compartment, but the crisper drawer with a paper towel to buffer moisture. Fourth, onions. Fresh onions are rich in quercetin, a flavonoid that fights inflammation. Refrigerating onions triggers a loss of moisture, causing them to become soft and develop off flavors. The dehydration also concentrates sulfur compounds that can irritate the stomach lining, a concern for seniors with sensitive digestion. Store onions in a cool, dry, well-ventilated place. A pantry or a mesh bag works best. Only move them to the refrigerator after they're cut and keep the pieces in a sealed container for no more than a couple of days. Fifth, garlic. Like onions, garlic's allicin content provides antimicrobial and anti-inflammatory benefits. Cold storage accelerates the conversion of allicin into less active compounds, diminishing its health-boosting power. Moreover, refrigeration can cause garlic to sprout, leading to a bitter taste and reduced potency. Keep whole garlic bulbs in a dark, airy space, and if you've peeled cloves, place them in a small jar with olive oil and store them in a cool cupboard, not the fridge. Sixth, fresh herbs such as basil and cilantro. These delicate greens lose their volatile oils, the compounds that give them aroma and antioxidant capacity as soon as they're chilled. The result is a wilted, flavorless leaf that offers little nutritional value. The best practice is to treat them like fresh flowers. Trim the stems, place them in a glass of water, cover loosely with a plastic bag, and keep them on the countertop. Use them within a few days for maximum benefit. Seventh, honey. While honey never truly spoils, refrigerating it changes its texture, making it crystallize faster. The crystal formation can trap pollen and enzymes, limiting honey's natural antibacterial properties that support gut health. Keep honey in a sealed jar at room temperature away from direct sunlight, and you'll retain its smooth consistency and therapeutic benefits. Eighth, potatoes. Cold temperatures convert the starch in potatoes into resistant starch, which is harder for older digestive systems to process and can cause gas and discomfort. In addition, the cold encourages the formation of solanine, a natural toxin that can affect the nervous system if consumed in large amounts. Store potatoes in a cool, dark, well-ventilated area, a pantry or a cellar, and avoid the refrigerator entirely. Ninth and final, melons such as cantaloupe and honeydew. These fruits are rich in water and electrolytes, making them excellent for hydration. When chilled before they're fully ripe, the cell walls break down unevenly, leading to a mushy texture and a loss of vitamin C, a key antioxidant that supports immune function in seniors. The optimal method is to let melons ripen at room temperature until they emit a sweet fragrance, then slice and enjoy. If you need to keep cut pieces longer, store them in an airtight container in the refrigerator, but only after they've reached peak ripeness. Now that you've heard why each of these 9 foods prefers a warmer environment, think about your own kitchen habits. Are you storing tomatoes on a shelf or in the crisper? Do you keep bananas on the counter or tucked away in the cold? Share your thoughts in the comments. I'm curious which habit surprised you the most. If this insight is opening your eyes to hidden dietary pitfalls, hit that subscribe button and let's keep exploring together. And remember, a simple change in where you place a fruit or vegetable can translate into stronger joints, steadier blood sugar levels, and a more vibrant life. Stay tuned for the next segment where we dive deeper into practical meal planning for seniors, turning this knowledge into everyday action. Now that the science behind those 9 kitchen rebels has settled into your mind, let's turn that knowledge into everyday action. Imagine walking into your pantry each morning and seeing a lineup of foods that are not only safe, but also primed to support stronger joints, steadier glucose, and a brighter mood. How does that picture feel? Comfortable? A little daunting? Let's walk through a practical step-by-step meal planning routine that fits comfortably into a senior lifestyle, honors the natural rhythms of your body, and respects the foods you love. First, think about the layout of your kitchen as a simple map of zones. One zone is the cool, dark corner where your potatoes, onions, and squash will rest. Another zone is the bright countertop where tomatoes, bananas, and avocados can breathe. A third zone is the pantry shelf that holds your breads, nuts, and dried legumes. By assigning each food its optimal microenvironment, you create a silent but powerful system that protects flavor, texture, and nutritional integrity. Begin each week with a brief inventory. Pull out the items you stored in the refrigerator over the past few days and ask yourself, did any of these belong in a warmer spot? If you spot a tomato chilling in the crisper, gently move it to the countertop and give it a few days to ripen. If you notice a bunch of bananas turning black in the fridge, transfer them to the fruit bowl and let them finish their natural ripening process. This quick audit takes only a few minutes, but the payoff is a reduction in waste and a boost in nutrient availability. Next, let's plan a simple 3-course day that showcases at least 3 of the 9 foods in their ideal setting. For breakfast, consider a bowl of warm oatmeal topped with sliced bananas, a drizzle of honey, and a sprinkle of toasted walnuts. The bananas, kept at room temperature, will retain their creamy texture and natural sugars, while the honey, stored in a sealed jar away from sunlight, will keep its antibacterial glow. If you prefer a savory start, scramble a handful handful of fresh spinach with diced tomatoes and a dash of olive oil, then serve it alongside a slice of whole grain toast. The tomatoes now basking on the countertop will release their lycopene more readily, supporting heart health and reducing inflammation. For lunch, a hearty salad can become a nutrient powerhouse. Begin with a bed of mixed greens, add cubed avocado, a handful of roasted chickpeas, and a generous scoop of sliced cucumber. Toss in a few wedges of ripe cantaloupe for a burst of hydration and vitamin C. But remember, the cantaloupe should have ripened at room temperature before you cut it. If you need to store leftovers, place the cut pieces in an airtight container and keep them briefly in the refrigerator, but only after the fruit has reached its peak ripeness. Dress the salad with a simple vinaigrette made from lemon juice, mustard, and a whisper of honey. The lemon's acidity will brighten the flavors while the honey's natural enzymes remain intact, supporting digestion. Mid-afternoon can be a perfect moment for a snack that respects the temperature rules. A small serving of fresh strawberries paired with a spoonful of plain Greek yogurt offers antioxidants and protein without the need for refrigeration of the berries prior to consumption. If you prefer a crunchy bite, reach for a handful of roasted pumpkin seeds seasoned with a pinch of sea salt. Store those seeds in a glass jar in a cool pantry to keep them crisp and free from moisture. Dinner should be comforting yet mindful. Picture a baked salmon fillet seasoned with herbs, accompanied by roasted potatoes and a side of sautéed green beans. Remember, the potatoes belong in a cool, dark, well-ventilated space before they meet the oven. When you pull them from their pantry home, give them a quick rinse, pat them dry, and toss them with olive oil and rosemary before roasting. The heat of the oven will transform the resistant starch back into digestible starch, making the potatoes gentle on an older digestive system. Meanwhile, the green beans stored in the refrigerator can stay there because they thrive in that environment. Just be sure to use them within a few days to avoid loss of crunch. If you enjoy a warm dessert, consider a simple baked apple. Slice an apple that has been kept on the countertop, sprinkle it with cinnamon, a drizzle of honey, and a few chopped walnuts. Bake until the flesh is soft and fragrant. The apple, when kept at room temperature, retains its natural sweetness and fiber, while the honey's antimicrobial properties remain effective, supporting gut health. Now let's address a common concern. What if you live in a climate that is very hot, or you have limited storage space? The principle remains the same. Protect the foods that need warmth from excessive cold, and protect the foods that need coolness from heat. For hot climates, consider using a small insulated cooler box with a reusable ice pack to keep items like dairy and eggs safe, while keeping your tomatoes, bananas, and avocados on a shaded countertop away from direct sunlight. If space is at a premium, a simple wooden crate placed in a corner of the kitchen can become a dedicated warm zone for those 9 foods, while the refrigerator remains reserved for proteins, dairy, and leafy greens that truly benefit from cold. A helpful trick for seniors who may find frequent trips to the grocery store challenging is to batch prepare components that can be assembled quickly. For example, cook a large pot of quinoa or brown rice at the beginning of the week, store it in a glass container in the refrigerator, and then combine it with freshly sliced tomatoes, avocado, and a dollop of hummus for a quick lunch bowl. The cooked grain stays safe in the cold while the fresh vegetables remain in their optimal warm zone until you're ready to assemble the meal. This approach reduces daily cooking time, lowers the risk of burns or slips, and ensures each bite is nutritionally balanced. Another practical habit is to label your pantry shelves with gentle reminders. A small chalkboard can display phrases such as "keep tomatoes out of the fridge" or "potatoes love the dark." Visual cues act as quiet mentors, reinforcing the temperature rules without needing to think too hard. Over time, these habits become second nature, and you'll notice a subtle improvement in how your meals taste and how your body feels after eating them. Let's not forget the social aspect of meals. Sharing a well-planned plate with family or friends can amplify the benefits of good nutrition. Invite a grandchild to help you ripen a banana on the counter, or ask a neighbor to join you for a stroll to the farmer's market, where you can select fresh, seasonal produce that is naturally suited to your temperature preferences. The act of cooking and eating together not only strengthens bonds, but also reinforces the routine of proper storage, because the more you engage with your food, the more you respect its needs. As we wrap this practical segment, take a moment to visualize your kitchen transformed by these small, science-backed adjustments. Picture the bright countertop adorned with ripe tomatoes, the cool pantry corner humming with potatoes, and your refrigerator holding only the items that truly need that chill. Feel the confidence that comes from knowing each bite you take supports your joints, steadies your blood sugar, and fuels a vibrant, active life. What changes are you most excited to try first? Maybe you'll move your bananas to the fruit bowl tonight, or perhaps you'll reorganize your pantry to give the potatoes a proper home. Share those plans in the comments. Hearing about your personal tweaks inspires the whole community. If this guide sparked a new awareness about the hidden ways temperature can affect your meals, please give this video a thumbs up. Your support helps spread these insights to more seniors who deserve to eat wisely and live fully. Remember, the journey to better health is built one mindful decision at a time. By honoring the natural preferences of these 9 foods, you're not just preventing waste, you're actively nurturing your body's resilience. Stay tuned, because in the next portion, we'll dive deeper into specific recipes that combine these ingredients into delicious, senior-friendly dishes. And we'll explore how timing your meals around your daily rhythm can further enhance digestion and energy levels. Keep watching, stay curious, and let's continue turning knowledge into nourishment together.